Hello, class. Now, in telling the story of postbellum America, I chose Edwin Drake. Now, prior to the postbellum economy and before the Civil War, Edwin Drake, born in Greenville, New York in the year 1819, grew up working on farms near his home. In his early adulthood, he worked for the New York New Haven Railroad as a conductor and express agent, delivering packages. While employed with the railroad, he came to meet a man named James Townsend, a banker who at the time persuaded Drake to invest $200 in the Pennsylvania Rock Oil Company, which had a capital stock of over $300,000. Now, a bit of background before Townsend and Drake's meeting. At the time, whale oil was the prime resource for lighting lamps, but much labor had to be done in order to extract such a resource. Some small deposits of oil seeps existed in the Pennsylvania region near Oil Creek, where a man named Samuel Keir made use of his father's salt drilling business to extract the unknown and unwanted oil from the salt pits by skimming the brine off the surface from the salt wells. Now, Keir tried selling this substance with its curative properties, along with refining the oil to be burned in lamps. Now, the Pennsylvania Rock Oil Company was started by George Bissell and Jonathan Eveleth, along with their law partner, Dr. Francis Brewer. They purchased land in Titusville, Pennsylvania, in the year 1854. With the knowledge Brewer had learned by investigating Keir's oil operation, they planned to identify a market use for the oil. Now, in 1855, Professor Benjamin Solomon of Yale was employed by the company to analyze and find an economic value for the petroleum. When his findings proved promising, investors from New Haven, Connecticut, and New York, including the aforementioned James Townsend, agreed to purchase stock in the company. When the financial crisis of 1857 happened, the business operations of the Pennsylvania Rock Oil Company ceased, as shareholders of New York and New Haven could find no common ground. When the economic scare ended, the New Haven shareholders reorganized the company under the name Seneca Oil Company. With Townsend now at the helm of the company, his meeting with Edwin Drake would put Drake's name into the history books. Edwin Drake was hired by the Seneca Oil Company to extract oil from the land purchased in Titusville at a profitable amount worth the labor. It was Townsend who gave Drake the title colonel, though he had never served in the military. This title would, however, give significance to Drake's name and position in the company. Drake received a yearly salary of $1,000. Now, in May of 1858, Drake was named general manager of the Seneca Oil Company, and as his first order of business, upon watching the salt drills, imagined a similar use in drilling for oil. Drake constructed an engine house operated by steam power to manipulate the drill and hired William Smith to operate the drill. Upon drilling in 1859, the sidewalls braced for cave-ins, and just 150 feet from Oil Creek, the hole would constantly fill with water, preventing oil extraction at a profitable and worthwhile endeavor. To solve this problem, Drake innovated, utilizing 10-foot-long cast-iron pipes driven down into the ground, known as drive pipes, still used today in drilling oil. Now, drilling was slow at 3 feet per day, but water and cave-ins were no longer an issue. The investigators grew tiresome of no real turnaround on their investment and directed Drake to shut down the operation. Now, shortly after, when drilling was ended, the drill had hit 75 feet in depth, and the men walked away. Smith, revisiting the well the following day, noticed oil coming from the pipe. Lo and behold, they had struck oil. In 1860, the well yielded an average of 1,000 gallons daily for the next 3 years. The whole venture took Drake 15 months from arrival in Titusville to striking oil. A gallon's worth around $1 and a barrel 40. Drake, upon the Pennsylvania legislature in 1873, they passed an annuity of $1,500 a year for the rest of his life. Now, history remembers Edwin Drake as the pioneer of the oil well, and, as simple as it may sound to us today, the inventor who brought the billion-dollar industry into our time.